Since this is somewhat related to my music channel, here are the top 5 biopic movies regarding bands and singers that properly connect their true stories that they're based on. Number 5 is A Complete Unknown, which is based on the true story of Bob Dylan. Now, before we get into any detail, yes, Bob Dylan is still alive, and apparently, in the movie A Complete Unknown, I saw this one in theaters back in like late 2024, and the story that they had connected to like Bob Dylan's story of like how he became not only a singer but also a guitarist. That really blew my mind, and my mom thinks that, oh, like I'm kind of similar to Bob Dylan because I started playing like the guitar and such. And basically, I didn't really hear I honestly didn't really hear much about Bob Dylan until, I don't know, like right until this decade. So like hearing about Bob Dylan and listening to his music, and I'm like, that's just interesting, honestly. And I'm glad I watched this movie because it's honestly really relatable. So if you want to watch this movie, I highly recommend it. Number 4 is Rocket Man. Now, before we get into anything, yes, Elton John is still alive, although he did retire from, being a singer and musician. Basically, I heard that he's not really doing well, like with his health, with his health, but well, mostly with his eyes. I really feel bad for him, but like in the movie itself, Rocket Man, it tells a story about how Elton John became a singer musician and like the struggles that he went through and like things that he dealt with throughout his life, and like and how he had to cope with it and everything. It seems like to me like he's like one of those lesbian people that was trying to figure things out. It's like the fact that he went through certain shit like that, it's heartbreaking, but at the same time he honestly knew how to be the best singer and musician of all time, like, or one of them at least. Like, so one of his songs really shaped my childhood, which is Crocodile Rock, and yeah, that's something like other songs like Don't Go Breaking My Heart or Rocket Man, I'm Still Standing. Those songs will always forever cherish. Like those will like forever always be in my heart. So I will forever cherish them. Number 3 is Elvis, aka the King of Rock and Roll. Now, to be honest, I also saw the movie, and like the story based off of like what Elvis went through, and like how he got into drugs while he was like while he became like a singer and dancer, like especially musician. But like with him being a singer and dancer, like he did a lot while at the same time he was addicted to drugs. Well, sure, a lot of celebrities have been addicted to drugs, and it's really unfortunate. But like with Elvis, he took it way too far. But like with him being a singer, and the fact that he did not create every single song. He literally got it from little black people that were also singers, and just did it for himself because this was like during the segregation when he became a singer, and that's really interesting to know. So it's honest. It's also really devastating how he passed and such. But like with Elvis, well, Elvis has left the building and earth. May he rest in peace. Number 2 is my most favorite one, and I also saw this in theaters with my dad and my grandpa. It's Bohemian Rhapsody, based on the true story of Queen as well as Freddie Mercury. May he rest in peace, by the way. Now, Queen still exists, even though that some of the singers are no longer in the band because some have passed, others have retired. But the thing is, when it comes to Freddie Mercury, it's really interesting how he went from a luggage transfer at an airport to becoming like a famous singer, musician, and like with him being part of a band called Queen, and how they toured everything while he was struggling with like not only like his sexual preference, but also like like also the fact that that he's learning how to like, or that he was learning how to be not only a singer or a musician, but how the band goes, and how I don't even know what to say, but like just despite the struggles he went through, he knew how to be the best singer and musician of them all. And like the story that he had, or the story based on him, is really cool, and it's honestly one of my favorite movies of all time because of that, especially with it being very plot based, like based on what was occurring. And yeah, I actually enjoyed it, so not much to say about it. Now, before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Bob Marley, One Love. I thought the movie was okay, but like the story did not connect really well based on like what I heard and everything. I don't know. I saw it in theaters and I thought it was okay. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, based on Bruce Springsteen. Again, I mean, I thought the movie was okay. I actually watched it with my mom and her fiance. It was great, but like but like there was like not every single detail from like based on like the story of like Bruce Springsteen and how he became like a singer and such and musician. But I mean there were some like good stories to it. Song Sun Blue. I have not seen the film, but I am willing to see that here very soon, while it's still on theaters. And Green Book, based on Don Shirley. We actually almost saw that film once, and unfortunately, because of a lack of seats and the lack of capacity that they had in the theater, we did not get to see it. So I ended up watching it at home several years later. But hey, it was still a great movie, especially from like 2018. So it's something that I will forever cherish. And number one, I cannot judge yet, but I'm sure that this biopic movie is going to be great, especially with it based off of the very famous late pop star who was basically the king of pop, and it's coming out later this year. So I am like willing to look forward to it. I'm willing to see it. I mean I look forward to it. So I'm very excited about this biopic film. It's based off of Michael Jackson in this movie called Michael.